What's up? Dr. Kaji Pue, Coding While Black. This is episode 85. It's June 25th on a Saturday. And I had some time, so I decided to jump on while I was running my errands. And what I want to talk about today is recently and more frequently recently, and this may not be necessarily related to Coding While Black, but it is related from a tangential point of view. I'm asked a lot, recently, do I have a book list? Is there a book list that I would give to black men, or is there a book list I would give to somebody who wants to learn black history? Let me say, first of all, that there is, and I'm not bragging when I say I've pretty much read every book that ever came out that had anything to do with the black experience in America, except for maybe over the last 10, 12 years where this renaissance has happened and more books have come out by what I call, the newcomers, the next generation. And I don't bother to read those because for the most part, if it's not original research, it's just a rehashing of those folks who I read many, many years ago. Folks like Dr. Ben Yakanan, Naeem Akbar, George G.M. James, Chancellor Williams, John Hope Franklin, Malcolm X, and I could go Tony Browder, John Heinrich Clark. There are so many. Theophilo Banga. There is a long laundry list, and I've made these lists years ago, and I still have them, and so I share them. As a matter of fact, recently someone asked me, what I thought about whether they should read the Autobiography of Malcolm X versus some other book about Malcolm X that came out, 2 years ago. The answer to that question is always going to be the Autobiography of Malcolm X. If you are a black male in America, you need to read that book. If you haven't read that book, you haven't read any book. You won't even know, who you are, why you are, and some of the things you experience and what you see in the country. Malcolm explained that in the 60s. And I have yet to see anyone, scholar or otherwise, articulate it better than he did. He's my number one go-to. I read everything. When I read his book, I read everything he said he read in his book. And then I read every other book that came out about him, came out with speeches. And then I read every other book about him. And there's been some new ones come out, so I haven't read those. And the reason why I do think it's related to Coding While Black, particularly if you're a black software developer and you are male, is because it helps you to understand the game that's run on you in terms of conditioning. And that game doesn't just start once you get into tech and once you become a black software developer. Somebody's sneaking up behind me. I'm sitting in my car. That game is running you from the jump. From the jump. And we have to learn, instead of us reacting to the conditioning, we have to learn to pause, which is why I talk about meditation and spirituality all the time. Because what happens is we react to the conditioning. It's rough out here for a black man. Police brutality happens and people start posting things like, because I have a black son, they're making you internalize the negativity of being black, which is never true in the first place. Yeah, they're out here doing things to us as black people. Yeah, they're naming us and labeling us and putting characteristics on us that aren't true. But if we start to reiterate those, then we start to internalize those, and now it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's a slick game. And Malcolm and the folks that do this condition, of course, they understand that. Not the people down here on your level, the elites. They understand that. They know what they're doing, okay? So what I'm saying about reading Malcolm X book, you talk about, if you haven't read the book, you can watch the movie, the Spike Lee joint. In the movie, there's a scene where Malcolm's like in the 4th grade or something, and he's talking to one of his teachers, and the teachers are asking them, what do you want to be when you grow up? And Malcolm said, I want to be a lawyer. And the teacher lovingly said, well, Malcolm, maybe you should choose another profession. That's not a good career choice for a nigga. Okay? Now, it's a good career choice for anybody, right? He's trying to infuse the limitations in Malcolm's mind. And maybe he was being lovingly because he thought, I don't want you to get disappointed. But he was conditioned. Okay? So That's my number one go-to book for black males in life, period, outside of something spiritual. And in fact, I believe you should read the Malcolm X book before you even start getting heavy into the spiritual literature, which is right now is, I don't put anything above that. But from understanding what's going on from a cultural standpoint, black men in America, Miseducation of the Negro, can't forget that. W.B. Du Bois, can't forget any of his books. But Miseducation of the Negro, Carter G. Woodson. I mean, again, I can go on and on as I continue to. And at one point, I had decided I was going to keep all these books and pass them down to my son if I had one. And I did have one eventually. But I ended up moving. When I moved out here to Washington, I was coding somewhere in Arizona. And I wasn't here for the move. And so my wife we decided to get rid of all my books. We didn't want to carry him here. Now my son is of age. He's just ready to go to high school, perfect age. I have to rebuy all these books. But I had mine highlighted, dog-eared. I mean, they were ready to go for him. But things turned out a little bit differently, and it's all good. But that's one. Understand that book before you even start your college journey. I learned about it. Either I was late in college, like junior or senior, or immediately after college when the movie came out and my sister challenged me. I had a hat on that said X. She said, "What you know about Malcolm X?" I said, "Nothing, it's a fly hat." And the next time I came downstairs in her house, she threw that book. She had it on her bookshelf. She threw that book at me, and I've never been the same. So I hope you find this helpful. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Tell a friend. Coding while black, Dr. Kai Dupe. Peace.